I couldn't talk tonight about being bold as a lion without talking about Samson. Samson, of course, he was a judge in Israel. In fact, one time the Bible says he was walking down the road, and here was this young lion, and this lion charged him, and with his bare hands, he killed this lion. And so he was as bold and as strong, literally, as a lion. But really, it was in the service to God for Israel that he was as bold as a lion. The Philistines had tormented the children of Israel for 40 years because of their sin. The Bible says he went out and he caught 300 foxes. I don't know how he did that. And he tied their tails together. And then he put torches in their tails and he let them loose. And they went through the fields of the Philistines and burned up all their crops. Now the Philistines were upset. In fact, they heard that Samson was in a certain town. They said, you turn him over to us, or we're going to burn your town down just like he burned up our crops. They go up to Samson and they say, Samson, what have you done to us? Don't you know we serve the Philistines? We're going to have to turn you over to them. Well, Samson says, I'll let you do that. But he said, when you tie me up, promise that you won't kill me. And all of a sudden, the Bible says the Spirit of God came upon Samson, and he broke those ropes like they were thread. And then the Bible says, lying by the side of the road was the carcass of a donkey. And with the jawbone of a donkey, he killed 1,000 Philistines. He was a man who was as bold as a lion in serving God. Now, Samson had a weakness, and the weakness was women. Delilah. Now, he was in love with her, he thought he was anyway, but she was in love with money. And so she went in and tempted him, and he told her one thing and then another. And then finally, she says, you don't love me. If you really loved me, you would tell me the secret of your strength and quit playing with me. And so he told her. And a servant came in and cut off his hair. And the Bible says she began to beat on him. Wake up, Samson, the Philistines are upon you. The Bible says he woke up and he stretched himself and he said, I'll throw them off just like I always have. But the Bible says quite expressively that the Spirit of God had left him and he didn't even know it, and put him in a basement and hooked him up to a grinding wheel. That's what you'd hook a donkey up to, and around he went. The Bible says Samson's hair began to grow back out. And one day the Philistines gathered together in a great big arena and they began to say, bring out Samson, bring out Samson. He's blind. And Samson tells the little boy, lead me to the two pillars that hold up this stadium. And he puts his hands on those two pillars and he prays to God. And he says, Lord, be with me just this once, that I can avenge myself on my enemies. And he leaned on those pillars and the whole stadium came down. And the Bible quite expressively says that he killed more of his enemies and God's enemies on that one occasion right there than on all of those other occasions put together. And Samson died a hero. He made some terrible mistakes, brought it on himself, but he died a hero because he repented and he committed himself once again to God, bold as a lion.